Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some really, in my honest opinion, kind of bad news, kind of on following up this PlayStation Plus price increase. Now, as you guys may or may not have actually seen, I actually saw quite a few folks actually checking out that video where people are kind of somewhat on the protesting side, going against the idea of the PlayStation Plus, and as well, a lot of folks just not happy with it, with a lot of people, even in my own community, people on Twitter, people on my Twitch stream, and all of that have been very against this idea. But the one thing that's completely expected, and it makes me really kind of disappoint the whole entire planet, is that, well, all the shareholders, stockholders, and everyone else invested in Sony were completely on the opposite and absolutely loved this change up, loved the idea of this, and it kind of made the prices of the stock go and soar. So I'm disappointed on this one, so we're going to talk about this. And as well, if you guys are brand new, first and foremost, make sure you guys are subscribing, give me your thoughts and comments down below, especially if you guys dislike, I'm assuming probably dislike, the PlayStation Plus improvements. And as well, we also are going to be doing some fun little drinking and celebrating out over here on my Twitch stream. So if you guys are bored throughout the day, make sure you guys are following up the Twitch stream link down below, or to swing by and say hi. If you guys want to, we're going to be doing some drinks, foods, and kind of cooking, and probably being embarrassed myself getting drunk. So if you guys want to, feel free to and subscribe. So let's go talk about this bad news, because, well, I'm not happy. So first and foremost, if you guys want to go look at this 5-day, here I'm going to give like a little bit of that financial talk over here. Here is our 5-day stock performance for Sony itself. Now, as I'm sure you guys know, Sony as a company is the parent company of PlayStation, although PlayStation is probably one of the biggest aspects of shares and the profitability for Sony. Sony does their stuff. They have their movies, they have their cameras, they have their TVs, or other various gaming peripherals. But if you guys are kind of familiar with Sony itself, although it is a big parent company, the one huge issue is, well, they make a lot of money from their PlayStation, whether it's PlayStation Plus, because they have their average to 40 to 50 million monthly subscribers, which, as you guys know, for any type of, well, plan like that drives a lot of money, a lot of revenue, especially now with the increased price points, and as well as even comparable to things like, like a Netflix or Xbox, Game Pass, etc. Like PlayStation Plus has more people subscribed than Game Pass, at least as of our current moments. Although PlayStation Plus has been around a little bit longer, I believe, as of now. But when the one thing that sucks is a lot of people on the planet, I saw people, as we mentioned that on the prior video, are wanting to cancel their PlayStation Plus. I myself am probably not going to be renewing unless I get a really good year-long deal, or if they ever do like one of those 50% off deals, which they do on occasion. Think Black Friday, or on the holidays, Christmas, or whatever, and well, I'd be okay with that, sure. I'll go buy in advance. But for the extra price increase, I think just for me and myself to kind of go show it to Sony, although I am a Sony fanboy. Like, I was making fun of Starfield as of last night. That's a completely different story. I have no idea what's going on. I'm around 13 hours in that game, and it's somehow gotten worse. But at the same exact time, it's gotten better because I realized how bad it is, and is now thinking more about how it is for a Bethesda game. If you guys saw my review on that one, I think I've kind of probably dropped my score down lower. But as I mentioned, it's to the point where I realize it's kind of bad, so I'm enjoying it more. And it almost has that like Skyrim jank now to me, where I think the game is so horrible that it's fun because I'm embracing how wacky and insane it is. It's very hard to explain. Anyway, sorry, Starfield catching random strays as I'm trying to go and insult PlayStation, my bad. But as you guys can see, the stock throughout just the past 5 days alone was kind of having a nice little teeter-totter all around here, around the $82 price point. And pretty much the exact moment that they realize and announce that they are now having price increases, we saw an absolutely just zoom on up on over here. We saw a lot of the markets kind of react to that very positively, and although we did have a little bit more of like an overall good vibe, think like Apple and overall tech stock, even Microsoft itself going up, PlayStation did have a pretty good bump up of 4%, which if you're in a multi-billion-dollar company, a 4% run in over a 5-day period is a pretty good jump, especially with how just crazy and zany the actual markets actually are. It's nuts. So this is overall, I would say, for them good. But as we've mentioned, all of the normal consumers, myself included, and quite a few folks as well who kind of shared their support and thought about the same way on the price increases not being a good thing, have been very adamantly against this. Like, we do not want to spend extra $20 a year just on the baseline level, let alone $40 for the more enthusiasts, where the enthusiasts are the ones that probably enjoy the product the most, and that's already them spending extra money on top of the normal essential. So it's not just $40 more than essential, it's $40 on top of the already higher price point, which is why a lot of folks are still upset with this. But that's why it stinks, because if you come to a shareholder, stockholder, or basically institutional investor, you want to go make more money. You want to be like, yeah, we'll be making an extra $20 off of potentially 48 million people. It's an essential for online gaming, so a lot of folks really can't get rid of it, especially if they're mainly on the PlayStation platform. That means that PlayStation, aka Sony, is going to be making more money over time, so that means our share experience is a lot more efficient and a lot more better, aka we as consumers are going to be front-loading the shareholders making more money. Now, I always say it's a business, it makes sense. They have a lot of employees. Sony has 100,000 employees. They have profits, they have revenues, they have all these different types of subsidiaries, but as I mentioned, PlayStation is one of the biggest driving factors for the profit, revenue, and as well just everything else too, with profitability on the company itself. And this is why it sucks, because once again, yeah, the company's going to do good. They'll have more money. Their stock price is worth more. Shareholders are going to be nice. The board's going to be happy. But us consumers are kind of getting dwindled. And we've been seeing this type of stuff, too. We've been seeing some of these different types of things where the Sony stock is now jumping after the controversial announcements, too, as well, because a lot of folks are just not happy about it. The kind of big highlight points for this is Sony's controversial decision to raise the prices of PlayStation Plus have resulted in an immediate boost of the company's stock because they're going to make more money a long time. The price increase is projected to significantly increase Sony's annual net sales and operating profit, which once again, that's good for shareholders and stockholders, bad for us, aka the consumers. And I'd rather fight for the little guys than the big executives and boardroom people making millions of dollars or have stock options. And while Sony is currently benefiting from the price increase, analysts warn that the long-term effects may lead to decreased revenue as gamers contemplate canceling their subscriptions or moving to cheaper tiers. And that's a big thing that we even saw in those surveys. And people kind of protesting, being upset with this, even in my own community, on Twitch, on YouTube. By the way, definitely go swing by the Twitch. I know I'm showing for a little bit, but it's like my birthday stuff. It's kind of fun. At least I'll try to make it fun for you guys. But for all of this, it's like, hey, we don't have that much spare money anymore. I don't know where these companies are kind of coming from. A lot of consumers don't really have this much to spend, because don't forget, spending $120 a year, that's also on top of us trying to buy games, trying to go buy Spider-Man. It's going to be $70. The game itself is also bumped up to $70. Like, things are hard. Like, money is tight. And that's why I don't mind Game Pass, because Game Pass is only $11. And even if the money is tight, you still at least get to check out the games. Now, I still think my PlayStation has better exclusives. Game Pass is cool. I mean, they still have like the early access things like for Starfield. Like, I've been playing Starfield itself. It's still like not bad. But at the end of the day, people are sad. And this is once again, like, the stock is rising after the controversial decisions to raise prices of PlayStation Plus subscriptions, which angered and upset many gamers earlier this week. PlayStation Plus will be more expensive for gamers going forward, but Sony appears to be immediately benefiting from the price increase because it's going to be bumping up the next few days. Like, it's horrible. In June 2022, Sony announced all these tiered services like a year ago or so, and it starts at $60, but now it's going to be $80. Like, that's just a lot of money for just a casual gaming experience, let alone if you have secondary profiles or kids or have family, or as like, well, maybe do Game Pass 2 on top of that. You can spend like $200 just on subscriptions alone, let alone the consoles, let alone the controllers, let alone everything else. Like, it really kind of does bump up a lot. And while there is other benefits for like the plus and premiums and all that, it still is a lot of extra money just for other stuff. Like 30% increase with like a week-long warning. This should be, I think, going on September 6th. That's horrible. Like, I think a lot of consumers are still upset about it. And it sucks because the stock price and these big boys and honchos are benefiting from it so much as well. So, the price increase is projected to increase Sony's annual net sales by 100 billion yen, which is approximately $700 million. Sony's operating profits also expected to raise by 378 million when accounting for all the increased price and yearly subscriptions. And according to Sony, the price increase will allow the company to continue providing high-quality titles each month, but most of the times, once again, they still have this horrible Saints Row that is basically going bankrupt and being cut out, and they're like basically an acquisition cost at this point rather than a benefit. And this is why everyone's so upset, because people on social media, on my YouTube videos and everything else, are all like, this is not a good vibe we want to keep going for, but PlayStation doesn't care. Sony's making money and they're happy about that too. And they say this only might be like a nice short term, because think another year from now where people are like, hey, I just can't afford this, or if like the economy gets worse, we just can't keep this on going, and that makes them lose money. Like, if they lose 5 million subscribers, yeah, they still maybe make money on the 35 million, but what's going to stop them from canceling or being more incentivized to a cancel in the future? Bloomberg also spoke spoke to CLS analyst Emmett Garg, who also believes that the price increase may cause a series of price hikes from Sony, Microsoft, and other subscription services in the future as well. And this is the one thing that sucks, because like if every company thinks it's okay for Sony doing it, they'll try to go and match it as well. Give me your thoughts on all of this. We also do have some interesting stuff where PlayStation 5 does at least have Baldur's Gate coming in the very near future, which I think is very nice to go and see. And then Little Nightmares 3 doesn't have couch co-op to preserve atmosphere and immersion any well as top of this. So we're going to have to go and see. Like, I'm a little bit sad seeing Little Nightmares losing some of their couch co-op. This is going to be a great game for it. One, it's nice to see PlayStation 5 players having their games coming out soon as well. And at the end of the day, it's just nice to see. We also have brand new stuff over here for Power Washing Sim, which I always love this game, but Sony is kind of still letting me down at the end of the day. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below for all the Amazon links too as well. And of course, swing by the Twitch if you guys want to hang out for the nice little birthday streams and stuff too as well, if you guys would like. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.